Fiaailetoa. My name is Charlotte Brunt. I am the General Manager of the Orator Hotel here at Samoa and also an owner of the business. It started in 2010. It opened its doors in February 2010, so it's 14 years old. Like any business, there was always the challenges. But when we started, we actually did our own research in Samoa tourism, and we found that there were so many beach resorts, beach fiaaile accommodations for tourism were always near a beach. And so when this land actually came about for sale, we felt that Samoa needed a different type of accommodation, because we looked at places like Bali. People always think of Bali as always the beach, but we saw that their accommodation, they use like mountainsides, and we thought, no, Samoa really needs something different. And so that's when the idea of Orator, villa style, rustic look, looking into the environment, because that's the other market that's really up and coming. And before COVID, we found as well our market, which is also sports groups, family reunions, especially events. If you have a look around our environment, the way we set it up, it's so ideal for a private wedding. It's all your own resort. If you book it all out, it's small enough to have a nice medium-sized wedding. And the other biggest plus, when we started looking as well, we were right next to the Tunaemato Sports Complex, and we knew that the government at the time were expanding to a lot of different sports. So we knew that we needed some good accommodation as well near the sports facilities. And then COVID hit. It was very challenging, because like every other country, the borders closed. It meant that you had to be creative to survive. And so we were blessed that we got to do quarantine accommodation, so that enabled us to keep afloat, but we still lost 3/4 of our staff. And then we had, after COVID, now that's the biggest challenge, is the wear and tear, the trying to restaff. I think the wear and tear is much easier to fix, but the restaffing or trying to get staff again to come back to tourism, to be comfortable, to be reassured that that COVID may never happen. It's really difficult, and I think for myself, when I hear that other countries are suffering from the same thing, I feel a bit much better, because sometimes you feel like as an owner we're doing something wrong. So we should be sitting at about 50 people, but we're only sitting probably around 25, so we're only at half. But now that where I am now, it's 14 years of our business, and as well being the president of Fiaa, being on the exec of our Samoa Hotel Association for 12 years, it's very fulfilling. So I wouldn't look back and change anything. So I think going to this business wasn't a big question whether we knew what we were doing. Yeah, it was different because it's not a business that I grew up in a family of retail business, and Jerry being in the legal profession, so people always said you got no experience. But I think our my biggest role model for me and Jerry was the late Ellen Gray and Marina Gray, because Marina Gray personally came here and she said, she gave us a lot of advice, but the most important advice that she gave us was, if you love what you're doing, it reflects on the work that you do as well. But any business, I would say that it will always be a challenge, but if you're going to enjoy it, if it's something that you enjoy doing it, then don't stop yourself from from doing or starting a business that you love to do. Because I always believe, because my dad, that was the one thing my dad always invested in us as kids, was, I'm not going to force you to be a doctor or an engineer. I'd rather invest my money on a career that you're going to enjoy and you love to do, because he knows that you'll be a success.